friends. I hope you're doing well. Long time no see. So it has been, according to my YouTube analytics, which are over there, like 60 days since I made a video. And I know you're not supposed to be like, oh, sorry guys, I haven't made a video in a long time. I'm not sorry. You know what? You're not supposed to bring it up, but I'm bringing it up, and I'm telling you I'm not sorry, because you know what? Things have been pretty rough for me here. And so, yeah, I've missed making videos. I've missed venting about how my life is going. And I don't know if you missed hearing about me complain about things, or just tell you about my life in general in a relaxing, pleasing, some dare say sultry whisper, question mark. If so, let's catch up. So, it's been 2 months since I made a video, and a lot has happened in 2 months. The hockey season started, and I gotta play one game before I got a foot ulcer, and have been out for 3 weeks now. So that's been fun, and is gross. So my toe got messed up again, thanks to diabetes. Coincidentally, my blood sugars are very high because I've been going through a very rough patch in general with life, and because of that, I have not been taking care of myself very well. So my blood sugars are super high right now. If you know anything about blood sugars right now, my common tests are between 180 and like 210, which is not great because that's like, they're not fasted tests, but they're more than 2 hours after meals. And if you don't know anything, basically 2 hours after meals, you should be 140 or less, ideally as close to 100 as possible. As low as 70 is like 70 to 100 is like the good range. Below 70 is dangerous because then your blood sugar is low, and that's where you start getting into things like I think it's called DKA. It's like diabetic ketoacidosis or something. But essentially, your blood sugar is too low, and your body can't handle that, and you start to get like, you lose consciousness. You act very drunk. You don't make good decisions. Your brain don't work no good, and I think you can even get an organ failure if your blood sugar gets low enough. So that's scary, but I've never had to deal with that because I don't do that great of taking care of my blood sugars, which I need to be better about. And I am getting kind of back on that horse, especially after having another foot issue. You know, thanks. Life just fucking me in the ass with that one. Because I was just super pumped about the hockey season starting, and I'm realizing, like, hockey was like my only form of self-care, and this whole year I just like get hurt, foot issues. Like COVID was a big deal for the first like I didn't even start playing until like late May or something like that, and then like instantly got sidelined in July. And so it's like, man, I've only probably played hockey like 10 or 15 times this year, which is such a bummer because like 2 years ago, I think I played like 70 times. Like that's how many times I want to be playing hockey. It's like 70 times a year, like 2-3 times a week. So to only be able to play 10 or 15 times, it's been a bit of a bummer. But got foot taken care of because it was, so basically what happened is, so I'll skip over kind of the grosser details, but a foot ulcer, essentially you have an infection and it's like under the skin, and it starts to like go outwards. So we tried to do it with antibiotics, did a couple rounds. It really wasn't working. I mean, it looked like it was working for a second, but then I think it turned around and got worse. Probably because I played hockey on the infected toe when I probably shouldn't have. And then maybe it burrowed in. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. And then I went to the podiatrist who cut my toe off. If you don't know, I had a partial amputation because of my diabetes. Because I didn't know I was diabetic, but it was a super bad infection. They're like, that looks diabetic. And I was like, uh-oh. It's not funny. It's actually very serious. Lost part of my toe. But you know, there's two reactions to traumas. You can laugh about things, you can cry about things, and making jokes. I know it's a very serious thing, and I'm trying to be better about it. But anyway, so I went to go see him. He's like, oh yeah, we can take care of that. He leaves the room. He comes back, and he's just got knives in his hands. And he's like, lean back, and just starts snipping away at the tissue. Because it's all dead tissue, and I don't have feeling in my feet anyway, so didn't need to numb me up or anything. Then he just cuts it all out, and it was a very horrific experience. But yeah, then it's down. So he cut it all down to the clean tissue, and then you just let it grow back out. And so it's kind of like what happened to me in July. If you remember that, like I had like a blister or something that just like, and then it was to the tissue. And so basically I just have to wait. He says it'll probably take about 4 weeks to heal, but it's hard. I've been working very hard to help it heal. I've been doing a lot of things to get blood down to my feet. I've been taking just a buttload of collagen, a buttload of vitamin C, and it looks like it's healing a little faster this time. So I'm like, okay, things are working. Blood sugars are still high, which I'm not loving because I'm working. I'm not like 100% great like I should be. Because like when I first got diagnosed with diabetes, I was working really hard and I got my blood sugars to a good level. But they've probably been bad for a year again. So I just need to like really buckle down and be like, I've got all the tools. The problem is like I just like things are going so badly for me that like comfort food, like that's my only form of self-care right now, is just like eating crappy food. And so it's like, okay, gotta stop that, gotta figure something else out. And then I was like, I haven't made a fucking video in a while, and I feel like this is some good self-care. I feel like this is like a very, very, very cheap form of therapy, because I'm just like, I just get it all out. So yeah, I don't know. So we're gonna try this. I've been meaning to get back into it, but let's talk about why things have been bad aside from my foot sucks and I can't play hockey. My girlfriend's going through a rough time too, so like that's not helping. Like she's just having mental sad. She's got the sads. I feel like anybody I know that's like paying attention is just like pretty fucking bummed out, pretty depressed. If you're not, like, A+, man, like keep it up. Just pandemic, and just it's been you spend all your energy on that and all like the bad things. Like that's, so I need to get off. I think I said this last time I made a video. I was like, I just need to get off the internet and get back into doing real things. But if you keep hurting myself, but like who's to blame for me hurting myself? Me, I guess. I don't know. So, anyway, she's been having a tough time. She got COVID recently. Luckily, I did not get COVID. I don't know how, because like she lost her sense of smell, tested, and it tested negative, and then we like slept in the same bed for 2 nights, and then she had another test, and that one came back positive, and then we separated. So vaccines work. That's controversial. Fuck off. I slept in here for 10 days, and that sucked because I slept on the floor. Let her out of the bed, and then we just wore masks in the apartment when we were outside of in the no man's land, in the neutral zone. Otherwise, I kind of just stayed in here, and she stayed in her bedroom. And we left like the windows open, and we just ran space heaters, which surprisingly, the power bill was less this month, which I don't know how that happened. Because we were running that space heater basically 24 hours a day, except for like when we would go to sleep. But because we had the windows wide open, and it was like, it's Nebraska in November, and so it was like at night it got down to 30. Anyway, still drinking Zevia, in case you were wondering. This is Dr. Zevia. It's like my go-to flavor right now. It's kind of like Dr. Pepper, but not really. It's like Dr. Pepper if Dr. Pepper had like, instead of 23 flavors, it had like 4 flavors. I don't know. It's pretty good. Let's see what else. So she's having a tough time. She's not doing great in school because of that, and than anybody, so it's like, you gotta, I don't know, find a way to break the chain. She goes to therapy, I don't. I need to get into therapy. It's something that's been on my list for like a long time, because I've had some like real trauma that probably is manifesting itself in ways that I'm not super aware of. But that's on my list. That's on my goals for next year. We're speaking of, I got so many goals for next year already. I'm gonna make a video about goals for next year. So this is your alert. It is time to start writing down your goals. Write down your goals. I've made some videos in the past about goals. This year, I just did not, effort level on the goals. So, it's been like 2 years of like goal derailment. So next year, I'm gonna fuck those goals in the mouth with productivity, and we're getting back. We're making up for lost time, which I don't know. I hate saying that because it just is. But gonna go punch 2022 in the mouth, because 2020 and 2021 have kind of punched me in the mouth. So I'm ready to Empire Striking Back, baby. This is Force Lightning all over it. All over it. Anyway, so some of my goals. I haven't landed on any firm goals. So, number one, I'm focusing on health and money, which is kind of related to health. Everything else is kind of secondary. I want to get to a place where the YouTube thing is creating a good bit of money for me, and maybe another side hustle or two that's completely dislodged from client work and freelance work. And it's surprisingly, when I have put very little effort in this year, my big channel, it's a white noise channel, keeps growing. So last month I made like $400 ad revenue, which is awesome. And even this channel, which I haven't uploaded anything to in 2 months, did about $20, which is not the highest it's ever been, but it's pretty good. So I want to make a lot more content, get back into doing daily videos. I want to start I already have 3 other channels. I have a filmmaking channel, an image making channel is probably a better word for it. And I have a film review channel, which I've done almost nothing with, and then I have a hockey channel, which I kind of just upload hockey stuff to. But I want to do more I think I want to do more with the hockey stuff. I want to do more with the film review stuff, and just in general talking about films. And I want to, I don't know if the filmmaking channel should stay a filmmaking. There's so many filmmaking channels, and they're all, I hate to be like, they're all better than me, but like, I can see I have a unique voice. I can contribute a lot of things that these people aren't. But there's so much good filmmaking content out there that it's just like, what? I guess I have value to add, but it's like, is this what people want to hear, what people need to hear? It's different. I'm not as good of a filmmaker as some of these people, and some of these people that are fucking amazing filmmakers, and they make a great content. Their shit looks awesome. It's very well made, and I'm seeing them get like 10, 15,000 views, which, to be fair, blows this fucking channel out of the water. But you're like, man, I put very little effort into this. I just turned the light on and set the camera up, and I'm like, oh god, that's so much work. If I was doing the work some of these people are doing, it's like, I don't think I could. And I saw 10,000 views, I'd be like, motherfucker, that took like 6 hours to make. I probably wouldn't last very long. And I like doing this because I like doing it, and it's relatively not that hard to do. It's mostly just me talking. I should really have a podcast. And this is kind of like a podcast, I guess. Just the most boring fucking podcast in the world that you fall asleep to. That's the name of it. That's why I'm changing the name. It's no longer Tingle Triggers. It's the most boring fucking podcast about some random fuckhead's life. Sweet. I'm probably saying the F word way too much, but I'll have to go moderate language. Anyway, so I want to focus on my health. I want to focus on my money. Getting that side hustle money, getting that YouTube money. I don't know, get a 3rd channel. I've always had this dream of just like making a living straight from YouTube, kind of having like a production company that just makes YouTube content. But I know that like if you really want to be successful, you have to steer towards a certain type of content, and I don't want to make that fucking content. I just want to have like 5 channels that are stuff I want to watch and things I find interesting, and I want to learn about them and tell people what I learn. And I think that's a pretty cool way to make a living. And I don't need to be a millionaire. If I can make 3-4 grand a month, that should pay for most of the bills. I'll still do some freelance work here and there. And then, you know, I'm making 50-60 grand a year, which is about what I'm making now with the freelance stuff. And yeah, that's a pretty swell life, I feel like. And then, you know, live below your means, invest some money. Hopefully the investments turn in something good. And yeah, pretty set. But so that's something I want to do. I've also been thinking about doing, I don't know if I want to call it like a self-improvement channel. I thought about doing like self-improvement for creators, and that could kind of be the unique sort of angle. And just talk about that stuff, because I think there's a lot of good ideas, good content that could come from that. It would be easy to make and like valuable, because it's mostly just talking to the camera and telling people like, hey, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna feel this way and this way about certain things. Your work is not gonna be as good as you want it to be right out the gate. It's gonna suck. So you just gotta make a bunch of it and let it be shitty for a while, and eventually you'll kind of find it, whatever it is. Don't quit your day job too soon. You know, that's kind of that sort of advice that people really need to hear, not the sort of like get to $10,000 a month in 6 months, because it's like, okay, I mean, like, if everybody did that, then the fucking commoditization of that type of work wouldn't happen. That's like not how that works. Be realistic. It's gonna take some time, and if you're not into that, well, fuck, go do something else. I don't know what to tell you. That's just the reality of the creative world, is that it's gonna take you some time, and no one's gonna take you seriously, and then one day they just take you very seriously. And in my experience, that one day is like when you're 10 years in. That seems like recently things have kind of turned a corner for me. And I don't know if it's just because I'm super immature, or if I've just gotten better at communicating with people, which has never been my strong suit. But yeah, you know, on sets, people take my advice a lot more seriously. Maybe because it's good. Maybe in the past it was always just shitty advice. So now I'm in a place where I have good advice. I'll give you some good advice. Drop me some questions and I'll give you some advice. Yeah, it won't be good advice, but I'll give it to you for free. Money back guarantee. That's the dumbest joke in the world, but I love it. Anyway, so some of my goals next year, I want to pay off debt, because spoiler alert, when you're having a bad mental time, you spend a lot of money on stuff you don't need. Case in point, I've been doing a lot of editing, and so I watch a lot of YouTube, and I ran out of YouTube to watch. So I've been watching like everyday carry videos. I have bought so much everyday carry shit. I bought some knives. This is a side note. This is what people are getting for Christmas from me. This flashlight, which, oh man, do I even have? I set it down somewhere. It's so small, right? Okay, so here's like a standard pocket knife. I'm getting these. These are Victorinox, which is a company that makes Swiss Army knives. It's called the Climber. It's like $26. It's a really good deal. It's got most of the tools you would want in a pocket. And then I'm getting these Rovivon A8Xs. And this flashlight is so fucking stupidly bright. It's almost too bright, and it's so small. Like it's just this. It's the size of my finger. That's it. That's the flashlight. And it also has like a reading light and a red light. But yeah, it's so cool. I'm so pumped about it, and I'm giving them to both my brothers. I'm giving this and this to both my brothers, and I'm like 90% sure they're gonna be like, "Thanks, asshole." And I'd be like, "No, just wait, just wait. Do you need the scissors? The scissors on these things are fucking awesome." This is a not sponsored video, but like, I remember when I was a kid, I feel like these scissors were shitty. But like these scissors, okay, we got like a couple pieces of paper here, right? Like you can see that's pretty, boom, no hesitation. No hesitation. They're just, it's so great. I'm in love with these. This was like the best thing I've bought all year. Second to this, I bought myself one of these, and it's so bright, and it's like when you use your phone flash, you don't realize how shitty your phone flashlight is until you use a real flashlight, and then when you use one of these, you're like, how are real flashlights not more bright when this little fucker can be? This will blind people, like not literally, but like in a security situation. If someone like was like, give me your money, and you just went, but they would. It's like a flashbang in your pocket. Like I cannot understand. It's 650 lumens. Go look at your flashlight and be like, how bright is my flashlight? And it's probably like 100 lumens. This is 6 times more powerful, and it's so small. I love it. I'm so stoked about this thing. I'll put some links down below. There'll be affiliate links. Give me your money. Use them or don't. I don't know, whatever. Buy whatever you want for Christmas. But if you have a dude in your life, you can't go wrong with either of these two things. Victorinox Climber. I got it in white because I think it looks real sharp. I don't care for the red Swiss Army look. I don't know. This white just looks clean. I like it. And this Rovivon 8X. There's a brighter version of this, which is, I have both this and the brighter one. The brighter one's almost too bright. It's 1,000 lumens. And my girlfriend complains, like when we go walk the dog, he like poops in the dark. I'm like, look, I got it. And she's like, you're a fucking nerd. And I'm like, I am. I'm a nerd that can see things at night. Good old Steve. Anyway, so goals for the year. Want to pay off debt because I've been buying a bunch of dumb shit. So now my debt's like back up. Of course, because that's what happens. I want to max out my IRA next year, because this year I think I put $2,000. You could put like $6,000 a year in it. So I put a lot of money into my investment accounts, but not really a lot in my IRA. I put $2,000 in, which is more than I ever have. So I'm progressing upwards, which is good. But I want to max it out. I want to hit that peak, that 6,000. Because I put in my brokerage account, I've probably added like 15,000 to that. So it's like there's no reason I couldn't have put some of that in my IRA. But I think I'm just skittish about money, especially because with everything that happened with COVID, I want to be able to have some liquidity. When you put it in an IRA, it kind of locks it away until you're retired. I mean, it doesn't. There's tax penalties and stuff. But then I also want to buy a house sometime in the near future. So that's kind of where, like, a lot of that brokerage money is going to come back out when it's time to buy a house. So hopefully that will be in the next 1 to 3 years, which, that's part of paying off all my debt, so that way I can be a good candidate for credit, good credit history, good credit score, and then having a good chunk of a down payment, which will make me an attractive loan candidate or whatever, so that I can get a dope fucking house and I can just buy once and be done with it, because that's kind of the goal. I don't really want kids. Girlfriend doesn't really want kids. Obviously that could change, but I'm 35 now, and I don't really have any interest in it, and she's 25, so I mean obviously her situation could change, but I think at most, I don't feel like if we did change our mind and have kids, I don't think we'd have more than 1 or 2, because I think I would go through that once and be like, oh, that's snip time. If she got pregnant, I'd probably be like, okay, well I'm going to get a vasectomy. Just gonna cut that off from happening again. Anyway, what else? Other than the rest is just health. And so I don't really know what the goals are yet, but I know I want to get better at hockey, because hockey's kind of the driver for my health, because it's distance, I can tell on the ice that I'm living healthier. And so my day-to-day, like, I feel it after a long enough period. But when I can see the results on the ice, it's a lot faster. And I figure if I lose the weight again, if I get back down to 230 something, because that's my lowest adult weight was like 235. Right now I'm like 260. I think I was 270 this morning. So it's like high 260s right now. So you definitely lost a bunch of COVID weight, gained a bunch of COVID weight. So now we're going back down. You know, we're going with I'm inversing the waves of COVID with my weight. We'll call that that. Oh boy. And then I want to get back into doing kettlebell stuff, because I think that'll A, help me with hockey, B, help me just be like, you know, nicer looking naked. So it's like, I also want to be able to do a pull-up. I bought a pull-up bar, this thing right here that I can't touch, but you can see that's a pull-up bar. It's a freestanding pull-up bar, because I weigh 260 pounds. If I put a doorway one in, it'd probably break the fucking door. I don't want that. So I got a freestanding one from a company called Base Blocks. Not sponsored, but it's very nice. It's kind of expensive, but it's cheaper than, like, Rogue Fitness has a freestanding pull-up bar, or like a squat rack, and it's like $350 some. This one was $250. This one, $250. So it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's not as tall as I'd like, but we have low ceilings, so it fits in the space, and it'll work. Yeah, so there's that. So I want to be able to do a pull-up. I also, in my head, I want to be able to press a 32 kilogram, which is 70-pound kettlebell overhead, strict military press. I've done it once before with just my right hand. I've never done it with my left. And that overhead press doesn't really track to hockey. So I think I'll probably drop that goal in favor of like doing a 53-pound, which is a 24 kilogram Turkish get down. Which, if you're familiar with kettlebells, a Turkish get up is where you start on your back, you push the weight up, and then you stand up with the weight overhead. Wow, going from a laying flat on your back position to standing up with the weight overhead the whole time, and then, that was loud, and then getting back down. A Turkish get down is the opposite of that, where you would clean press the bell, get down, and then get back up. And the reason why you would do a Turkish get down instead of a Turkish get up is that if you do a Turkish get down, if you start from the top position, you can switch hands much quicker, much faster. So you could get more work in less time. And also the process of switching, when you're on your back, the process of switching a bell is convoluted. To do it safely, it's kind of stupid, and it's also a good way if you don't have a lot of space. You could do the get down because you can plot everything, get down, get back up, do a swing, change, and then get back down. As opposed to if you start on the ground, you have to do like a tuck and roll to get the weight up safely, and then you have to tuck and roll to get the weight back down, and then you either have to rotate your whole body to be able to tuck and roll the other side, or you have to walk it around your head, because you're not supposed to rush and twist it. That's not good for some reason. I forget why. Anyway. So yeah. So I think a Turkish get down, that maps to hockey. That's actually a much harder goal probably than just the pure press. And I want to be able to get back into like swinging very heavy. Like I have a 106-pound kettlebell that I have not used for anything. Partly because I hurt my back in July, but I think it's like pretty much better. Like it almost never hurts anymore. And I've been working on strengthening it and doing some things to bump it up. So there's that. Oh man. So there's that. I want to get, and I think I just want to get better at hockey. So I think the goals for that are gonna involve like hours of practice and just pure shots taken in my little garage gym that I got going. Speaking of hockey, I don't know if I said this already. We're 30 minutes in. I could have talked about a lot of things by now, because it just goes out my mouth and not in my ears. Even though I got headphones on, I'm listening to music this whole time. I don't hear myself. myself talk. I don't want to hear myself talk for 30 minutes. That's a lie. So I do so bad. Anyway. Breath. I work in an ice rink again. My friend Mick, he works at this outdoor ice rink that's open for 2 months a year, and he lost all his people to COVID last year because they all got other jobs, and now they're just like not available. So me and girlfriend are gonna go work there. So I'm driving to Zamboni again. Maybe I'll have some cool ice rink stories for you. I have a bunch actually written down on the notebooks. Stuff I want to talk about, dumb movies I like, ice rink stories. Oh man, there's just so many. I don't know how many of these I even already told. I gotta go back. I'm gonna have to go back and look. Yeah. Just, anyway. So many good times. Great Oldies, KGOR. That's a local radio station. I don't even know if it still exists. Anyway. Yeah, so that's an update on my life, more or less. I finally getting over the work hump. That's why I haven't been making videos. I've been just slam packed with work. And the idea of like sitting at a computer any longer than I have to when I'm already like behind on everything. And then also you feel a little guilty, you know, making YouTube videos when you're way behind on work. So I want to get back and making them a little more regularly. I don't know if we'll get back to every day for a while, but look forward to some more often content. I also want to start making some more just like noise videos, but those will go on the other channel, which is called Relaxing Recordings. Go look it up. Go subscribe if you haven't, because I do make ASMR videos over there too, not just noise videos, but sometimes I talk at the camera because I realized that YouTube doesn't like it when you don't show your face and talk. So I've been making some talky ASMR videos over there. Not recently, but there's a couple videos over there. They're more evergreen. They're less about my life as it is right now and more just like, these are movies I like. So if that trip to trigger, go over there. In an ideal world, I'm just going to be making daily content. I'm just going to be making 7 videos a day and making 10 cents a video. So I'm making 70 cents a day. Nice. That's almost $1 a day, which is almost $365 a year, which almost, that probably pays for like Netflix. Sweet deal. It's a really good ROI right there. Anyway, I think we're caught up, more or less. If I didn't mention anything, I'll probably mention it later. If you have any questions about how my life is going, drop a comment. Let's chat. I don't know how many of you stuck around. If you did, bless your heart. I know that's like not a good thing to say, because like people are like, oh, bless your heart, but like, yeah, for real, like, thanks for sticking around. Like, I like making these videos. I miss making these videos. I'm happy to be back, and I make more of them. And what else was I gonna say? I hope you're doing well, and if not, well, I hope that turns around here for you real soon. And if it doesn't, well, join me in punching 2022 in the face by writing down your goals. ASMR Bully's coming back. Write down your goals. We're doing it tomorrow, or the day after, sometime this week. We're making a goal video for 2022, and we're gonna talk about your goals and what you could do to crush them. And I'm gonna help you crush them, and I'm gonna call you out by name in videos. Be like, hey, Meat Smasher 97. How your goals coming? What's up, person? Can't say dude. People have gendered dude, but dude's not a gendered thing. Good burger. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes, yeah. So, dudes. Yeah. Go get some sleep. See you next time.